Welcome to Destined for Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Devin Woods, and I have another one for you today. I'm talking about another one. I've been having the best guests. I've been so blessed. But before we get started, I'm going to take you into a record that's on my compilation. Check it out. Thank you for joining. Welcome.
Never would've made it, I was faded off the liquor. Down in the dumps, couldn't see the bigger picture. Say I never would've made it, mama started reading scriptures. Didn't understand, couldn't see the bigger picture. Say I never would've made it. I never would've made it, couldn't see. This is real gospel, true, authentic. Only real life, I ain't never needed gimmicks. Made it through the struggle, but the pain is relentless. Take into account all these things that I witnessed. I never thought I'd be up in the church. So many times I put a casket in a hearse. Lost so many people, I'm immune to the hurt. How we viewed in the world, then go back to the dirt. I never thought we'd get a fair chance. Cops still shoot when you raise your hands. And they ain't racist, we animals, keep us in a cage. And they wonder why we walk around with all this rage. Menace in society, all they see, we just playing game. Land of the free, and my people want the same thing. Mentally conditioned nowadays, they got a mind train. I never.
Welcome to Destined for Greatness podcast, y'all. I'm your host, T. Woods.
Never would've made it, I was faded off the liquor. Down in the dumps, couldn't see the bigger picture. Say I never would've made it, mama started reading scriptures. Didn't understand, couldn't see the bigger picture. Say I never would've made it.
Hey, support the project when it drops, man. Y'all hear it?
Never would've made it, couldn't see the bigger picture. See the bigger picture like it's paramount. Every shoe a different size, don't know paramount. Better do some soul searching for you, wear them out. Get a grip for you slip, please hit me out. I never thought I'd make it past 23. The streets made me, God save me, I'm a different breed. Cause I was down in the dump, trying to pull my way up. Fifth a Henny in my gut, I never thought I lived with pain, filled with sorrow. Every day I wonder if I make it to tomorrow. Block where it's hotter than Sahara. This is our desert, through the storm we evolve. Yellow tape this, I'm proceeding with
all right, y'all. I just want y'all to have a little sneak peek of what I was working on. I've been working even more because guess who I got on the show today? My brother, somebody that I look up to. I call him, he knows when I call him on the phone, I say, man, you my sensei when it comes to the game of making beats. Lansing's own. He has produced for everybody locally. If he hasn't produced for you, you must not be hot. I'm sorry, that's all I'm trying to say. He has produced for, in the industry with Rick Ross, Lil Boosie, you know what I'm saying, T.I., Gucci Man. Come on, y'all. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the legend himself, Mr. Kaz Drumatik We. Welcome to the show, my brother.
What's up, bro? Good, man.
Yes, sir. We in here, man. We in this thing. Good to see you, man. How's life?
Good, bro. Just blessed, man. Just excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You got a lot to be excited for, man. You got a new, you've been working on some new ventures. We're going to get into talking about that. But like I say, every show, nobody can introduce themselves like themselves. For those that do not know you, please introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I go by Kaz Drumatik from Lansing, Michigan. Been doing my thing for 20 years. I'm a producer, engineer, I mix, I master. I do a little podcast myself, and I do artwork and I do video work, and that's what I do, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do it all, man. So let's start from the beginning. What was your first passion that got you into the entertainment business? Like, what's the first thing you're like, you know what? This is what I want to do. At what age did you discover what you wanted to do?
I discovered that I wanted to do music at the age of 8. My dad had a passion for music. My dad was always into music. So music was just something naturally that was just in me, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I started producing when I was 8. Well, rapping too, because I used to rap. So on the journey of me rapping, I produced my own beats. I didn't have my studio at the time. I was always paying other people for, studio time, and don't get it twisted. If this were other producers that had beats that I liked, I was buying them. So, the age of 8 is when it all started for me.
Man, 8.
Yeah.
So what was your beat sounding like at 8 years old? Was like what kind of equipment were you working with?
Well, I had a Casio.
A
At
Casio.
the
You know
time,
drum machine, just a Casio?
yeah, Casio was, was like my starter keyboard.
All right. All right. So when
Um,
you
go for it.
no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying the Casio was just, my first keyboard, what I started with, so
All right, man. So like when did you start taking it serious when you start recording and actually artists start getting on your music?
at the age of 16.
Age of 16. So tell me about
Yep,
that
the
stage
age
in
of
your life, man.
16. Yep, and how that happened was at the age of 16, I was working at Texas Raw House, right? And I was getting paid maybe about 300, maybe 400 every 2 weeks. And then a record label started out of Lansing by the name of Smash Mini Records. Shout out to
Yes.
Clay Knox, Mo, Sawed Off, Sos. Um, Clay was best friends with my older brother. So when Clay came home from prison, he started a record label called Smash Mini Records. And he hit me up and said, "Yo, you got some beats on you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm at work." He said, "When you go on break?" I said, "In 30 minutes." So he pulled up. And I remember I had a CD on me with about 10 beats, right? So on my lunch break at Texas Raw House, I go out to his van. He had like a van. It wasn't even rap yet. It had like Smash Mini on the van. And Sawed Off, Mo, Sos, and Clay, we was all in the van listening to the beats, right? So Clay asked me, Clay was like, "Yo, how much you want, for each beat?" I said, "Man, just give me $100 for each beat." And I remember he reached in his pocket, he put out all this money that was all hundreds, and he gave me $1,000 and said, "Yo, I want all of these beats on the
Wow.
CD."
At
So
16.
so here I am working at Texas Raw House, getting paid, like I said, $350, $400 every 2 weeks. And here I am sitting in Texas Raw House parking lot, and I just made $1,000, right? At that time, that's when I decided and said, "You know what?
It's a
This is
wrap.
what I want to do."
This
And
is
I've been
it.
doing
This
it
is
ever
it.
since.
Ever since. I think that's the last job I know that you really haven't. Because I mean,
and
I'm
that
being
was
real,
and,
man.
and that was back in 2000 and maybe 2000. Yeah, that was back in 2000.
Back in 2000, man, I remember you being in school working on graphic designs in the library, man. And I remember you've been on this hustle, you've been on this grind.
For
So
sure.
now you made $1,000. You're working with the squad, man. So he bought all 10 beats. Who consisted of the squad and who was in on the label at that time? And what's the name of the album that dropped? Because whoever they're still out there. People can
Yeah.
still go grab that music, man. So
Yep.
what album was dropped at that time?
It was Connected Fellas, which who was Mo and Sawed Off,
Yes,
and
sir.
it was my first placement. It was called They Flickin'. It featured Mr. Chastain on the hook. Yup, I did the beat.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris Chastain, he did the hook, man. So that was my first placement ever. You know what I mean? So
You talking about a lot of legends right there, man.
yeah.
So what happened with the squad, man? Like, do you guys go on tour or anything? Is that when you start touring, or are you still kind of local at that point?
Oh no. Well, shoot, Smash Mini, man. They had the budget. They had the connects. We've traveled. We traveled. We went and did shows. We pretty much visited just about everywhere. You know what I mean?
All right, man. So now you with Smash Mini. When did you kind of have the breakup with the family, your first team, and you kind of went independent? Around what time did that happen?
Well, I kind of been independent on my own for like the last maybe 2 or 3 years. So, and by the way, I still talk to all of those guys. Even though I may not work with those guys, but I still keep in contact with all of those guys. So everything is still solid. So
So what was the name of the studio that you guys had? I remember that studio. It was downtown, correct?
yeah, well, the studio was called Maz Music. Because
Mass
that was
Music.
because I had like a little label thing going on myself. I
And who was
had
a part of your label, Mass Music?
Yep. You said what about it?
Who was a part of your team on Mass Music?
Uh, Lil E, the Hustler, my homeboy Drock. Shout out to Drock. Jita Vega, Piccolo, and Jay Wade. That was my team.
That was your team. I mean, I remember, man, that was a classic. Like my cousin Omar said right here, man. That was a classic, son. I still remember the album cover. I remember banging that joint. It was a
Yeah.
Halloween one. It was the Halloween. What was the name of that project?
Halloween Havoc.
Halloween Havoc. Classic, for sure.
Halloween
So,
Havoc is actually one of our best mixtapes that we ever put out. Like, people like Volume 1 and Volume 2, but people love Volume 3. Volume 3 was like our best mixtape.
yeah, man. Who all did you have on that? I like you throwing out some of the names, man. You worked with a lot of people, man, and the names you're naming, man, they're all classic names.
Yeah, for sure. Big Absolute was on there. Rest in peace to him.
See, Big Ab, R.I.P. Man, we love you,
Yep. Ill Speak, he on there
my brother.
for sure. That's pretty much it. That's
Other
pretty
than
much
that,
it.
was just the team.
Yep.
All right, man. So let's start talking about some of the people that you worked with, man. So who are some of the names that you worked with locally that you really have a lot of respect for? They grind and they hustle, man. They've been doing it for a long time, and you worked with them for a long time. You just respect their overall grind. Who are some of the people that you worked with locally that you really respect?
For sure. Mo is one of them. Shout out to Mo. Word Skills. He's definitely one of them. Lil E. Lil E still hustling, man. He's still doing his thing. As a matter of fact, Lil E got a real hot TikTok song right now that's getting ready to come out. So y'all be on the lookout for that.
That's what. So you must have produced.
Oh,
it,
and my homeboy Roscoe P. Can't forget him. I work with Roscoe. I work with Diamond. Man, just about everybody in Lansing that's doing something seriously, I don't work with.
We're going to give them a shout out right now, man, because, coming from you, man, that's the big thing, man. So just name a couple of them. I'm down here in Atlanta, so I'm trying to keep my ears to the street. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what's going on back home.
Shoot, man. No Sleep Millie, shout out to him. He working.
He
My homeboy King Gutter Coleon, he working. Shoot. Diamond, he working. Roscoe, he working. People just working, man. Everyone just working. Everyone just putting in that grind, and everyone making moves. Not everyone sitting around no more. You know what I mean? Everybody, investing in their money and taking trips and building relationships and meeting people.
It's a new day, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, we definitely did a good job of our generation of setting some examples about how to do it professionally. So the younger generation locally, man, they definitely soaked up some game, man, and they running with it. I see them doing things that I wish we were doing at their age. So shout out to everybody he worked with, man. Hopefully I can have all y'all on this platform at one day or not. You know what I'm saying? But Kaz, man, let's keep on going about your career, man. So you done a lot, like you said, but when did you actually start producing for industry artists? Who was the first industry artist that actually picked one of your records?
BG.
BG from the Hot Boys?
Yep, BG from the Hot Boys. This is when BG first left Cash Money, and BG ended up moving to Detroit.
I remember that.
And me and BG was being managed by a guy named Doc. I was introduced to Doc by my cousin Swamp Dog, and my first placement was with BG. I forget the name of the album. It was the first album that he released when he was solo, like I said, from Cash Money. Yep. So I did some work for him. And then you remember Shauna from DTP?
Yeah, I remember Shauna. He used to tongue twist. He used to rap fast with Luda.
Yep. I did some stuff for her.
Okay.
Yep. And I also did some stuff for Twister and Lazy Bone too, called Midwest Evasion. I helped produce that.
That's the one that I remember the most that you did, because you was geeked about that one. I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that record. That was dope. So, man, what age were you when you started producing some of those records for the industry? Like some of those artists. How old were you? How far along in your career were you?
Well, at that time, I was about like 20.
About 20. So 4 years in the game, you already working with industry cats.
Yeah, well, I was working with another manager too before I even hooked up with Doc, and his name was Lemoyne.
Lemoyne. And shout out to Lil Lemoyne too, man. Yes, you brought back memories.
Sure.
Just working with you, man, having this podcast, man, you're bringing back so many names that are pillars in our community, man, that have done some amazing things. So
for sure.
So now you working. Everybody knows you, man, kind of right now for you working with DJ Khalid. You know what I'm saying? The whole DJ Khaled situation and you and your team. Yep. But before we get to Khalid, talk about the team that you worked with to get signed. What were their names, man? Like, what was the team that you worked with to be able to get that far in your career?
That team was me, DJ Eclipse, and Great Star. We was the Chemist Music Group. Mm-hmm. We was put together by Big Perm. Big Perm was getting beats from all of us individually. So Perm said one day that he wanted all three of us to kind of like work on a beat together. So it went from us being in the studio one time, and then we got together a second time, and then here we are in the studio at least like, if not every week, every other week. And we were watching other producers coming up in the game. And what producers was doing even the producers that were solo, it's kind of seemed like everybody was coming together as a team, to kind of put full effort into blowing up. So once we seen that, you said, you know what, everybody else doing it, let's do it. And then, I remember when we had Common Ground, shout out to KC from Hood Illustrated.
Oh yeah, shout out to KC, man. He's actually coming on the show Thursday, man. I have an interview with KC on Thursday. Y'all, all right, keep going, bro.
KC has always been a good guy. KC has always been trying to help us. And KC asked me one time, he said, man, you guys got some beats? And we was like, yeah. So he was like, yo, slide me a CD with some beats and I'm going to give him to Snoop Dogg and his manager. And we was like, all right, bet. What? So he slid them, right? And then I say probably about like a week later, we get a phone call back from Snoop Dogg's manager. And he was talking about how he loved our look. He loved the beats. We never really talked too much about him signing us though, but we did appreciate the fact that he did reach back out to us from listening to the beats to give us our props. So that was something new. Look.
I never knew that you guys ever had a look from Snoop ever.
For sure. And then I would say probably about a year and a half after that, we got picked up by Khalid.
So go ahead, keep on going.
Yeah, and I'll tell you about the Khalid situation. All of that happened off of Twitter. That's when Twitter was like first popping.
Networking. Let's go.
Yeah. So one night, me, Grace, and Eclipse, we was in the studio cooking. We on Twitter. I can't remember if it was Grace or Eclipse. One of them was like, yo, Khalid just posted out a tweet. Talk about for all producers and songwriters to submit your music to this, like, we the best Gmail, whatever, right? So we submitted it. At this time, it was probably about like maybe 8 in the evening. Now, it's the same night, but it's probably about maybe like 3, 4 in the morning, and my phone rang. And mind you, I got a girlfriend at this time, so it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, dang, who could be calling my phone? I look over, she looking at me all crazy. And I picked the phone up and looked to see who was calling. It was a 305 number. So I picked it up, and then he like, yo, this DJ Khalid. I just heard those beats you guys sent over. He was like, you guys got 5 more beats? And I'm like, yeah, we got 5 more beats. He like, yo, send them right now. Send them right now. I'm in the studio right now. Send them right now. So I didn't want to just pick these beats on my own. So
you called the team.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll call Eclipse. I'll call Grace. We meet back at my house probably about like maybe 8 a.m. that morning. And we just going through beats. And we probably sent those beats back out maybe the next day, probably around like 12 noon. And mind you, this was in December. So, around December time, close to the end of the year, the industry kind of like closed, you know what I mean? So Khalid was asking us, he was like, yo, you guys got an attorney? We was like, yeah. But at the time, we didn't.
Yeah, I ain't had no time. I know y'all
we just said that, you know what I mean? So he was like, yeah, get your attorney with my attorney. We can get this paperwork going. So we was like, bet, So Christmas came by, the New Year came by. We didn't hear from Khalid. We were like, dang, the opportunity might be gone. And I will never forget, it was probably like the first or second day when the industry opened back up. It was like maybe January 4th or 5th. Khalid called us and said that, he had signed and he had got our signatures and he was ready to fly us down to Miami and meet and pretty much build from there. So that's how all of that happened.
Wow. That's dog. You know how much of that story I did not know, man? Thank you for sharing that, man. So now you on the flight, man. Y'all a geek. Cause I
we even got it on YouTube. If you go on YouTube and you type in like the Chemist Music Group / DJ Khalid, you will see all of that. Yeah, we on the plane. We at the hotel.
You think I was gonna share that? I got you, brother. Don't trip. Yeah. That's all to come.
Yep. For sure.
So talk about that, man. So when you guys trying to put these beats together, man, I remember Eclipse saying something that you guys had mad hard drives full of beats.
Yep. That's true. So, yeah. We always kept beats. We've always kept beats. It was times that we would go down there and we would play beats for Khalid. And then it was times when Khalid would set us up in these production rooms. Khalid got like a big studio on like this compound, whatever. And he would have like 5 rooms. He would have like a main room, and then it'd be like 5 other rooms just for like recording and pre-production. And he'd give us ideas, and even the runners. Shout out to the runners. The runners, they was giving us VSTs.
Let's talk about that, man.
They was really trying to help us, you know what I mean? So
you guys worked with the runners, man. Talk about the time you spent in the studio with the runners, man. They're legends, man, in the game.
Oh man. I was in the studio one time with the runners. They was playing a brand new record that they had did for Ace Hood, and it was crazy. It was crazy. And I mean, I'm not talking about like being in like some little rinky-dink studio. I'm talking about you in Khalid studio. I'm talking about big speakers all over the place. You know what I mean? And just hearing that those beats come through, man, so loud and so clear, and it was crazy, man. That's what really gave us the inspiration. Like, yo, we can really do this. You know what I mean?
And you guys really did this, man. So what was the first record that you produced for Khaled, for anybody that he worked with at that time? Like, even if it was on a mixtape or anything, what was the first record that actually got selected, that he actually picked one of the artists to be on it?
For sure. It was a beat that me, Grace, and Eclipse called Block by Block. Um, it was a beat that Jeezy had picked out, right? I will never forget this. We was chilling at my homeboy Mike house, me, Grace, and Eclipse. We get a phone call from Khaled, right? At this time, this is when Khaled was in Atlanta and he was with Jeezy and they was all getting ready to go to the BET Awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Khaled called me like, yo, what's up? He like, yo, I'm with Jeezy right now. That block by block, brick by brick, he feeling that. He feeling that. We about to go in on that right now. And he like, Jeezy, talk to him. And he put Jeezy on the phone. He put Jeezy on the speaker.
Let's go.
Yeah, and Jeezy like, yeah, I'm feeling that, my nigga. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. So it was just perfect. You know what I mean? So after we did that, I say probably about maybe a week or two later, we get a call back from Drew, which is one of the members of the Runners, right? He said, yo, can y'all take Obama? Because it was Obama, by the way, on the hook. Mm-hmm. This was when Obama was first elected for the president.
I remember that speech.
Yep, and he did his first speech. And during that speech, he said that he was going to take America by storm, block by block, brick by brick. And I was like, yo,
I'm sampling
I need that. So I ran downstairs, I sampled it, I called Grace and Eclipse. I said, yo, we need to make a beat out of this. So sure enough, they pulled up, we made the beat. So anyway, they called us back and said that they wanted us to take President Barack Obama off the hook because, you know, he president. They didn't want to be in any trouble for using his voice. You know what I mean? So they were like, yo, can you send us the beat back without Obama on it? We were like, all right, bet. So we did that, and then Jeezy ended up getting one of his artists to do the hook. But when Jeezy artists did the hook just wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It just wasn't the same. So the record didn't come out. So
you guys never used it?
Yeah, they've never used it. They've never used it because, I mean, that's my guess. My guess is just that, you know, it just didn't sound the same. Because once Jeezy artists did the hook, they sent it back to us, and we wasn't even really feeling it. Because even though the beat was fire, but having Obama say block by block, brick by brick.
That's what made it. That's what made it.
That's what made it. So for sure.
Yo, man, so when did you actually get a placement?
My actually real first placement was with T.I. We did a lot of records for T.I., man. A lot of records for T.I. Matter of fact, T.I. working on something right now that I'm shopping some beats for. But the first placement was a designer, produced by me and Grace. And then we also did another one called Extra. Extra was dope. We did that. And then Kick and Flav. I'm sorry, Kick and Flav was the first placement. Kick and Flav was the first placement that set the whole relationship off for us in Grand Hustle.
With T.I.
So it was Kick and Flav, then it was Extra, and then we did designer, and then I also did some stuff for Damani too, his son.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that next. I know that's who you worked with the most personally. You worked with his son the most.
Yeah, yep.
So what's some of the records that you've done for Damani?
It was Going Down. Going Down is one of them, and the other one is called Interlude. If I think it's on his maybe first or second mixtape that he put out, is an interlude record that he did to where it's just called Interlude, and he just rapping, and it's a beat that me and Grace had did.
Man, you talk so humbly, man. That's why everybody has so much respect for you, Kaz, because of everything you've done, and you remain the same person from school, man. You still keep the same humbleness, and anybody can work with you, man, and that's love, man. And I appreciate that from you for never letting your head get too big. You're naming these names off just like you would name off the No Sleep Millies and the Diamond Joneses and the Moles and the Sawed-Offs. And you say it with the same energy, and that's respect. You know what I'm saying?
For
I bet you
sure.
they all respect that too because they're all professionals in my book and they all industry in my book as well.
For sure.
So now you working, man. What happened with Khalid though, man? Because how many years did you work with them? What happened with the relationship?
We were signed to Khaled for 3 years. It was only for 3 years. A lot of people ask me that question all the time, as if we were supposed to be signing forever. But the contract was only from 2009 all the way up until 2012. Um,
Okay.
we signed a management agreement with Khaled, right? But we did not sign the publishing agreement with Khaled. Now I'm gonna tell you, the publishing is everything, all right? The management agreement only agrees what the manager is obligated to do for you, right? But then the publishing agreement is where the money is. So, we're up and coming producers, right? We can't just go to Khaled and say, hey, we want this, we want that. Khaled gave us a contract with only making maybe one change, but then the other changes pretty much just stayed. And at this time, we did have an attorney. She read the whole contract for us, front and back. And every sentence she got finished, she'll say, "You guys understand that? You guys understand that?" And we either say yeah or we said no. And if we didn't understand it, then she would go more into depth of what that sentence was. Um, Basically 360. You know, some people are cool with 360s, some people ain't.
Y'all
We was
wasn't, huh?
young and we were just scared. I believe we was just scared of signing a publishing agreement with Khaled and us maybe not getting paid. You know what I mean? But then, some people ask like, well, Kaz, if you could go back and maybe make different decisions, would you have made anything different? Um, I don't know. I don't know. But however, I do appreciate the opportunity that Khaled did give us because I'm gonna tell you something. Having that management agreement with Khaled,
You learned a lot.
being in the studio with Khaled and having that experience with Khaled, it has helped a lot, and it has helped open doors for other bigger and better opportunities. Dude, that whole 3 years we were signed with Khaled, I probably went down there maybe about a total of maybe like 7 to 8 times, right? Every time I was down there in the studio, so many people came through. So many people, like Chris Brown, Fat Joe, so many managers, A&Rs, and trust me, if I was there and they was walking through, if I couldn't get to them, then I couldn't get to them. But if I can get to them, I got to them. I got to them. I've got business cards, phone numbers, and some of those relationships that I met then, I still have now.
Man, I guarantee you, man, you're good with relationship building.
Oh, for
You can
sure.
still work with people.
That's what people got to understand. This whole game, like I understand, people say, yeah, you gotta have the talent, gotta have the talent. But a lot of this game is really based on relationship and who you know. And having some money to play, you gotta pay to play, but the game is definitely built on relationship.
But let me say something real quick, man. Doggone on the cause, you done broke the internet, man. You done have my most viewers ever, bro. Let me give it up for you real quick, man. Hey,
For
hey,
sure.
they came to see Kaz today. They came, and you giving a great interview, sir. And I appreciate you for coming giving all this information. So, man, it's all right though. You built those relationships. You might not be working with Khaled, but that didn't stop you from working with all your people that you're working with. So now you go back home. You're back home, right? You're not
Right.
signed with them. Everybody think you a millionaire now.
Man.
So how was that coming back home and being home and everybody knowing that you worked with everybody that they watched TV? They watched
Right.
on TV. So how did that go when you first came back off of that deal, man? How was your relationships?
It was cool. Everyone was excited for me still. Everyone was ready to work. So I like being home, man. Let me tell you something. I know everybody got this whole thing about Lansing hating and all of this stuff, man. For the most part, for me, it's been all love. It's been all love. Lansing has done nothing to me but blessed me. So many great people, so much talent here. Uh, I don't have any bad problems with Lansing. Lansing. It don't matter where I go in life. Lansing will always be a home for me. You get what I'm saying? So, um, all that hating and stuff, whatever, how people talk about, I've never experienced that. I never really experienced. I mean, I might have had a little bit of hate, but that just come along with the game. But for
Nah,
the
you
95%,
keep a good reputation for sure,
for
man.
sure. And I've always tried my best to be a good business person. And one thing I had to learn was to become a people's person because I used to be shy. I never really did like to talk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was always quiet. But one thing I had to learn was to break out of that shell and to become a better people's person. So because dude, you can have good material all day long, but if you're not able to connect and build relationship with these people, then some people just look over you. So I've always
And
been
that's fact.
for sure. So I've always tried to be good at that.
And you have been great at that. You've been beyond good at that. And that's what I respect from you, man, is that you don't matter just because you worked with the TIs and you've worked with, you know what I'm saying, and everybody up here, you will still work with me. I could call
For
you
sure.
and be like, yo, Kaz, man, I need a beat. And you're gonna give me a price that I can afford. You're not gonna give
Right.
me the price that you're gonna tell these dudes. So you're good with your balance, man. And I guarantee you that a lot of people in the city respect that from you, that they can still work, because that's good to put your name on their on their beat, right? If I'm
For
working
sure.
on an album and I say I got a beat from Kaz Drumatik or The Chemist or something like that, that holds weight. That
For
holds
sure.
weight, man. So what are you working on right now, man? So who are some of the new people that you're working with right now? Like, I
Right
mean,
now,
new
I'm
things
working
you
on,
got
like I said,
coming on.
Damani. Damani's working on something new. I'm always working with Damani. Right now I'm shopping some tracks to Young Scooter. Shout out to Free Bands, Young Scooter over in Atlanta. I'm shopping some stuff to him. Um, I'm also right now working with Kelsey Lynn. She's a local artist, but she's about to become a TikTok artist. So that's kind of what we pushing for. So I'm working with her as well. And then other than that, man, really just doing a bunch of custom beats. I've been going pretty hard lately on, putting out beats and stuff. So now that a lot of people see that I'm back active, pushing out beats and stuff like that, I got like a whole list of people just looking for custom beats. So that's really what's been keeping me busy. And studio time and mixing and mastering. So dude, I'm always busy, man.
We weren't even gonna get to that. That's a whole nother level. We've been talking for 30 minutes just on your beats alone. There's a whole nother level to you, man, when it comes to your engineering. So
Right.
a lot of those relationships that you built, not only you might not have produced a beat for them, but they'll still send you records for you to mix and master, man. So tell the audience about the importance of having more one trick to the trade in your skill trade. So let's talk about your mixing and mastering and people that you've worked with that you might not have made a beat for, but you still work with them.
Well, there's one guy right at the top of my head right now by the name of Marcus Pruitt. He's a gospel artist. And I've mixed and mastered his album. And the album is phenomenal, for one. Two, he's also won an award from the Rhythm and Gospel Company.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so with him winning that award, that means I win one too. And that award was for the mixing and mastering for that album.
Hey, can I get some applause? Can I get some claps down here? Did you hear what my brother just said? He just won an award. Can you tell him what award you just won?
I won the Hip Hop Alternative Gospel Award from Marcus Pruitt for me for the mixing and mastering for his album.
Man, come on, y'all. Show the brother some love. Man, he's working. He's working. He's
Yeah.
Lansing's own, man. He's right there right there at Studio 707. That's still the name of your joint, right?
Well, the studio's called 51 Sessions, but no matter what I call it, people gonna always call it Studio
Still
707.
51. Still
Matter of
51
fact, speaking of
sessions.
Studio 707, I want to give a shout out to the whole Jones family, Jesse Jones Sr., Jesse Jones Jr., Emmanuel, Shamar, Chanel. I wanted to shout them out because I gotta admit, they were one of the people that opened their studio for me when I first started doing this. Ill Speak, he was one of the people that opened up his doors for me. And my homeboy Man Moan, he had a studio, and when I was growing up, he opened his doors for me. And I'm talking about these are people that wasn't charging me a dime. They just saw how serious I was and how passionate I was, and I just always wanted to be in a studio or whatever. So yeah, they've opened their doors for me and let me come in and work. So I gotta shout them out.
And they're still doing that right now, man. You're saying you have Keisha right there showing you some love. She has a representative of the Jones families here telling you thank you for all the love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not only that, man, the Jones family just good people because
Always.
Chanel Jones showed me love, yo. Like I'm sitting there one day, I ain't been invited to Clubhouse. All of a sudden I get a Clubhouse invite and guess who gave it to me? My brother, you know what I'm saying? Then looked out, I'm like, oh, I'm part of Clubhouse. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's
Just
up,
want to
man.
shut up. So man, so you've been working. So talk about your new endeavors, man. I know you have 2 studios now, or are you working on another studio? How's that going?
Well, yeah, I got 2 studios. I got one over here now, Studio 707, and then I got another one on the south side of town off Pennsylvania. And I'm also working on a third studio in Grand Rapids. That's what I'm
Say
working on
what?
right now.
Say what? Say what? 3?
Yep. Yep.
All
Cause,
right, miss.
Cause it's COVID. It's COVID going on right now. People are bored. Everyone trying to work. Everyone trying to
Yeah.
work. Everyone trying
It's
to stay
time to
focused.
make music. Yeah.
For sure. Exactly.
Hey man, why when they want to work with you, man, you're gonna give them the best sound in town. So man, I want to give you your crown. I'm gonna keep rapping when I was around. I'm gonna put it on and say you're the hottest producer in Michigan, man. And I'm sorry anybody that thinks otherwise. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. When you have a longevity like this, consistency like this, and
Yeah.
build great relationships like this, man, you got to give hats off to a man when he's been grinding. You know what I'm saying? So.
For sure.
Now you say that you're into doing videography and you're into podcasting and different things. So talk about some of the new ventures so people can, work with you, man. You're not a one-trick pony, man. You got many endeavors that you got your hands in. So talk about some of those things.
Yeah. Well, I've done a lot of videos. Because the technology of video editing is the same as audio editing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I fell into that. Plus I've always had a not only an ear, but I've always had an eye too. So I know what looks good and what don't look good and what's too dark or what's not dark enough. You know what I mean? So, so yeah.
So how can they reach out to you if they're trying to get a video, man? How do they find you?
Oh, go to my website, KazDrumatik.net. You can also go there and reach me. I got the Facebook, Kaz Drumatik, and then I got the Instagram also, which is Kaz Drumatik on IG.
All right, man. I know you don't want me to probably talk about this, man. I'm gonna put it out there in the universe, anyways, man.
Go ahead.
We brothers, so we talk all the time. And you was talking about a program that you're thinking about putting together, man. And the reason why I'm putting it out there because you never know who's listening that might help you with your endeavor, right?
Yeah.
So talk about
sure.
the program that you had in mind that you wanted to do for the city.
Yep. Right now, I'm working on a beat program for up and coming producers. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be providing all of the laptops, all of the keyboards, any VSTs programs they need. I'm gonna be providing that, and I would say probably about up to maybe like 6 to 8 kids that I'm gonna be starting out at a time. Just got to make sure that we all stay sanitized up, we keep a mask, and we're gonna be wearing gloves. And yeah, I say once to maybe at least, well, right now at least once a week. From 5 to 7, I'm gonna be getting with these kids. We're gonna be meeting at the studio, and I'm going to be teaching them on how to make beats, how to be good engineers.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure if these kids want to rap, I'm going to, not only me, but I'm going to be bringing other people in too, and we're going to be teaching these kids how to be creative when it comes to writing songs, because some of these young kids I work with today, they come in here, right? They rapping. They saying some things in their songs I know they're not doing, but the only reason why they saying it is because they're used to hearing their favorite
Other
rapper
people say it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I understand, but what I want these kids to understand is you don't have to rap about what you're not doing. It's okay to be you and to rap about what you love. Rap about a good day. If you're having a good day, rap about it. If you're having a bad day, rap about that. But then also explain how you're gonna fix that bad day. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Great message.
Yeah, and someone gotta do it around here because ain't no one else doing it. And like I said, it's bored. And kids are getting into trouble. When kids get bored, kids get into trouble. So what I'm trying to help do is keep these kids off of the streets, because like I told you, when these people open their doors up for me, it helped keep me out of trouble. So if people can help me do it, then I can pass it down and do the same for them.
Hey man, that's a great way to pay it forward. So what are they gonna learn in this program? So you said they're gonna make them how to beat. So you're gonna have them in there.
Yep.
You're gonna have them for 2 hours. 2 hours.
Yep, 2 hours. Yep, maybe even 3, just depending on how long it go. But I was really basing
teaching
on
them Pro Tools and teaching them things like that.
Pro Tools, Studio One, FL Studio. Yeah, I'm gonna be teaching them how to make beats, how to count bars, because even people our age, people who come in here and do songs, they don't know how to count bars.
Facts.
So I'm gonna be teaching these kids all of that, how to count. Basically, I'm gonna be teaching these kids what I know now, So by the time they get to my age, not only would they know what to do, but they know how to do it.
And not just that, man. We have football coaches. We have basketball coaches, man. Now we have a beat coach. We have a producing coach out here. So if your kid is interested in music, man, my brother Kaz is starting a program. He said it's on him. He said it's something. This is his way of giving back. He said he's reached the pinnacle of his career where it's time to start giving back. So and getting prepared for the next generation, man. And salute to you for that, man. I guarantee you, everybody on here respects you doing that. So so I know, I mean, no pressure on, but when are your plans to maybe get this thing started? You have a date that you have in mind?
Soon, ASAP. All I'm doing, like I got a total of 4 laptops already. I'm just waiting to get a few more laptops. So once I get these laptops, it's gonna be me and my computer guy, and we're just gonna sit and just upload these laptops with the sounds, VSTs, drum kits. You know what I mean? Even video software. I'm gonna be teaching them how to do that stuff, but that stuff will come on later in the program,
in the future. Yeah.
But first things first, I'm going to be teaching them how to become producers and engineers, and how to train the ear. So when it comes to mixing and mastering, they can somewhat have an idea of what to listen for when they're working.
Man, so you told me there's like a reward at the end of the program. So what was that reward at the end of the program?
Oh, it's going to be cash prize. Actually, it's gonna be rewards for all of them at the end of this program. If they all succeed and do what they're supposed to do, everything that I've bought for them, like the keyboards and the laptops, whatever, I'm gonna just give it to them.
Did you guys hear that? He said at the end of the program, but he also said there's incentives, man. Their grades got to be right. You know what I'm saying? If they're not right, we want them to still come, but we want to make sure that they're inspired by the incentive of it, getting the whole studio and the end of it. You know, get you a little home setup. So now you don't learn how to work, and now you can get you some money, man, the right way. Right?
For sure. Yep.
All right, man. So what's the message right now that you got to people right now is working on music right now? I'm talking about even the people that's older like us, right? That's still working on music in a younger generation. What's your industry dude right now? What is your advice right now during the COVID season people should be doing during the downtime?
Just stay focused. Stay focused. Utilize the internet, because the internet is so powerful. The internet is so powerful. With people not being able to travel like they want to, there's so many social media platforms out there that people need to be signing up for, and just start networking, and you know, and start building a relationship. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, still make the moves if you can. You know, if you got to go out and travel and you got to go meet these people, do that. But in this time of COVID, utilize the heck out of the internet, man, because it's definitely useful right now. Because everything that I'm doing is all off the internet. Just having a good resume, and like I said, just building those relationships, whatever, and just knowing how to conduct business with these people.
That's one thing you know how to conduct business, man. That's another thing that I think you should maybe go do something with, is giving some people business advice that to protect themselves legally. You know what I'm saying? You're very protected. You know what I'm saying? You always protect yourself when it comes to your copyright and it comes to your paperwork, man. That's something that you need to teach the kids too, probably in that program. Don't forget about making sure that they learn their paperwork so they don't get jacked.
For sure. It's called split sheets.
Split sheets. I know about to talk about the split sheet. What is a split sheet?
The split sheet is it's kind of like a mini contract on you. It's pretty much got everyone's, like, pretty much you just fill in the blanks, right? You fill in the blanks with artist, producer, the name of the song, and then how much percentage of that song is split between you, the artist, if there's any other songwriters in the room, if there's any other producers in the room. Everyone fills out their name and the percentages on this split sheet. People can either take pictures of it, scan it, whatever you need to do, make a copy of it, and that's your agreement right there. So if anything happens to the song, if it's stolen or if it blow up, you guys got a split sheet together. And I carry them with me as well in my backpack. So in my laptop backpack, you know, that I carry around with me to make beats and stuff, right in the back, I got a vanilla folder. So if I'm ever in the studio with somebody and I'm working on a beat, once we get done, at the end of that session, bam, I pull out the split sheet.
Man, you gave us a fire podcast, man. I'm talking about, man, you came here ready. You came here fly as ever. Look at my man. Look at the sweater, man. I told him I have to run that thing when I come home. I was like, bro, look, I'm almost lost. I've lost some weight, but I ain't lost that much weight to fit your clothes. But I'm almost there, though. You know what I'm saying? But thank you so much for coming on, man. Is there anything else that you want to share, my brother?
Hey, keep God first. Keep God first.
Again.
Keep God first. Stay focused. Have faith, and never give up. Just keep going, because, like, I've never gave up at all. Anyone that knows me know this is what I've been doing my whole life, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And like I said, hey, keep God first. I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Anthony Stewart, because he's a partner of mine. He's been helping me with all of my metadata online.
Mm-hmm.
And then also want to give a shout out to my homegirl Michelle. She's also been helping me with shopping my music, not only to industry artists, but also up and coming independent artists as well. So want to give a shout out to them and just to everybody, man. Hey, God bless and just keep God first.
All right, man. So another piece of advice I would like for you to give. What do you think is the most important key to have? Is it a business attorney? Is it a manager? What do you think, if you don't have a lot of money, but you're ready to invest in your career, to say, I'm ready for the game, but I want to protect myself, what do you suggest that they get first?
A manager is always a plus. A manager is always a plus. I always tell people, find a manager that has interest in you. I know that managers do charge. You know, like I said, everything costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, sometimes people find these managers, they're paying all of this money for managers to help and push them, and they may not get a good result at the end. So for some people, it may end up being like a waste of money. So I always tell people, try to find somebody that has interest in you, because if you find a manager that has interest in you, then they're going to do nothing but try to push you, so that way when you blow up, they'll blow up too. You know what I mean?
Facts. All right, man, before I get you up out of here, I don't want to keep you, because I know you probably got a session or something coming up, because you keep a session. Hey,
sure.
Man, so talk about your beat stars, or how your beats, tell people how they can get a hold to you. If they can't get a hold directly to you, how can they hear some of your music? If they want to purchase something online, where do they go to get a hold of you, my brother?
KazDrumatik.net. That is KazDrumatik.net. You can go there. You can get your beats. You can schedule studio sessions. You can even set up appointments for mixing and mastering. I got free drum kits. I'm gonna keep saying that because I know a lot of up and coming producers that's out there. I got some free drum kits on my site, and I'm also about to start selling sound panels for studios. So if anybody out there that's looking to put together a studio but may not know what equipment to get or what software to get or maybe even how to hook it up, I can do that for you.
You see, I'm asking all them right questions. I'm trying to put some money in your pocket, man. I try to help me, man. You know what I'm saying? So I shoot people this way. That's what's up, love. I respect you. I love you, man. I asked you to come on one of my first guests. You called me and said, Woods, man, I got to jump on your podcast, man. It's going ham right now. I got to be a part of this thing, man. I'm like, say less. Let's make it happen. And guess what? We made it happen, man. This is useful information. It was fun talking to you. It was good seeing you, man. I respect everything that you're doing, man, for the youth that you're about to do, man. I'm going to pray on that for you. May God be with you in all your endeavors, my brother.
Yes, sir. And D Woods, hey, God bless and love. Hey, I love you too, bro. And congrats on everything you got going on, man.
Man, I thank you. I thank you. Once again, y'all. Y'all give it up for my boy, Kaz Drumatik. Yes, sir, man. Don't leave, man. Stay in the back, man. I got to talk to you for a second, man. I got to talk to the people for a second.
Okay, for sure.
All right, now. What's good, y'all, man? What an awesome show we just had, man. I feel so good about it, man. I had a dope guest on it, and I'm not done this week, man. This was my hip-hop week. Last week was my sports week. This is hip-hop week. Yesterday was Ward Beer. Today's Kaz. Next, KC Hood Illustrated. He holds everybody down. If you ain't been in Hood Illustrated, you ain't been making enough noise, because he will put you in that thing right next to your favorite rapper's rapper. So check that show out. And on Friday, DJ Cut Nice, that one that I promised you back then. Oh yeah, I'm a man of my word. So we making it happen over here in Destined for Greatness. I respect everybody for tuning in, showing the love consistently. Keep showing the love. Share the video, man. I love y'all, man. This has been an awesome, fun run for me. I don't even know what to say, man. Sometimes I just get choked up with all the love that y'all been showing me. Thank y'all for tuning in. And guess what? Like I say every time, I'm out.